Hello and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, a warm welcome to Blooming Slopes Gardens. Ever wondered how to build a rock-solid raised bed, even on a steep, tricky slope? That's the common garden challenge I'm tackling today. I'm going to be more Bobby the Builder and less Gardener's World today and share the designs and plans for our first step towards our rewilding project, our native Irish wildflower testbed. Let me briefly walk you through the challenges we're facing. The slope we're building on here is far steeper than your typical garden incline. And when we scraped back the gravel covering this area, we found sandy soil underneath. That's excellent for drainage, but it's very problematic for terrace stability, especially on a slope like this one. For a moment, we almost gave up on building the raised bed here, knowing that building on loose sand could make the entire structure slide downhill. So, how do we solve for this? Terraces are usually built in what I call a squared off C shape. You've got your long front beam with two connecting side pieces that get buried deep into the hillside. These side pieces are your anchors. They stop the whole thing from sliding downhill, which would be a disaster. For very long terrace spans, it's advisable to go one better and use an E shape with an extra connecting side piece buried into the hillside for additional anchoring. Because of our particularly loose, sandy soil, for this small raised bed, we're going to need that E shape connected to the foundation layer. This will hopefully give us the additional anchoring points we need to make the foundations rock solid. We'll determine the exact length of each anchoring piece as we lay them down, ensuring they dig deep enough into the hillside for proper support on a perfectly level bed. This is a common part of the building process, so don't worry if your measurements aren't exact at first. We're using treated wooden beams similar to the ones in our main garden terracing. They're 2400 by 200 by 100 millimeters. To minimize wastage, the raised bed will be 1200 by 1200 millimeters because it's exactly half the length of our standard beams. We'll be using decking screws and bolts to join the retaining walls together properly. And because of our sandy, unstable soil, we're also putting in rebar stakes to really anchor those foundations into the ground. We'll lay weed membrane along the bottom to help prevent weeds from growing up into our test bed. There's a very important safety consideration here. If you're watching this video with plans to build a raised bed for a kitchen garden, these modern wooden beams that I'm using here are not safe for growing food and vegetables for human consumption. Use different materials for that. In the past, old railway sleepers were common, but they contain toxic creosote. Definitely not suitable for food crops. Even the modern treated wooden beams, like the ones I'm using, contain chemicals unsuitable for edible plants. But for a wildflower garden, they're perfect. Once this little test bed is built and filled with just the right soil, we'll begin our systematic planting trials. This small space is going to tell us almost everything we need to know about what native Irish species will thrive in our coastal conditions before we embark on the much larger rewilding project. Now, this might seem like a tremendous amount of engineering for such a small planting area, but getting the foundation absolutely right is crucial. In our next video, I'll show you the construction process in action and share more about the native species we'll be putting to the test. What challenges have you come up against with steep slopes in your own garden? Do let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates on our rewilding journey here at Blooming Slopes Gardens. That's it for now. So long and happy gardening.